What's up, guys? Welcome to the Parlour. My name is the Bul Bey. We'll be going over official and formal introductions. Just wanted to welcome everyone in. Hopefully, everyone's cozy, safe, and sound in a healthy space. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you live too?
Yeah, we here. Look. Boom.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Hey guys, welcome to the Parlour.
Welcome.
We have a really exciting show ready for you today. We have a phenomenal guest. We'll be talking music production, everything connected, and I won't be doing it by myself. I got my brother in arms and my homie, Mr. Eric Boss, the brain.
What's up, y'all? What's up?
How you feeling?
I'm alive. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
we're
here, and we're doing something like really new in a lot of ways.
Yeah, hell yeah.
In
We're
a lot of different ways.
while also social distancing.
While also sitting many feet apart from each other.
Yeah.
So, again, welcome to the Parlour. This is the Lush Lounge for the engineering of future sounds. You want to get into what the Parlour has been up until this point, and then we'll talk about what the Parlour will continue to do.
Yeah, let's do it
into the future.
Word. Let's get
well, I guess I'll kick it off.
Oh yeah. Oh, you want me?
It's been a while. Like the last time we did the Parlour, I want to say was in New Orleans, Louisiana, which at the moment is suffering a lot, and has been a hotbed for the coronavirus, COVID-19. That's been kind of just wreaking havoc on the world. It's a pandemic.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the last time we did the Parlour. It was really exciting. We had Wino Willie. I'm forgetting the gentleman's name.
Delicious Beats.
Delicious Beats.
Yeah. Elgin. I don't know if Elgin came through that spot, but he was in Philly with us.
Absolutely,
kicked it with us.
Really the whole Bag record.
Yeah. Bag Season Records.
Excuse me.
Hell yeah.
And if you go online, look up Bag Season Records, you'll find just like an array of music that they work on. Some of it is lo-fi-ish. A lot of it is upbeat. You can hear a lot of the New Orleans community, culture, environment kind of seep into their production, and it's uplifting, which is a bit of a change because Wino Willie has history here in Philadelphia and in different parts of the world as well. But he has the groove in him. But a lot of his music that I've heard over the years has been chill. So it was nice to see like New Orleans kind of have that building block effect on his craft.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So we miss New Orleans. Thoughts and prayers, of course, goes out to everyone in New Orleans and everyone who's like dipping and dodging and trying to find balance in these very lopsided times. For real.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Kind of off topic, but do you remember what happened while we were in New Orleans? What happened to New Orleans while we were in New Orleans?
Man, I don't even know.
The NBA draft. The NBA draft happened.
Oh, word,
and if you recall, the block we were staying on was I can't remember what it was called. Something Ion. Another. And they went out in the middle of the night and put the Z over the first letter, remember?
Yes.
Yeah, they went, and I remember we felt like, we feel you on some as Philadelphians, because that's what we do, right? Like we take our sports real serious. In New Orleans does the same,
Yeah, no, it was a good time, and Alfred Banks came through, who is a MC, celebrated really in spaces that understand and know how strong the pen game can be.
Yeah.
And he is a native New Orleans. I don't know if there's a particular name for native.
I don't know if there is. I don't want to misspeak.
I don't want to disrespect, so I'm a chill.
He recently battled a Philadelphia MC and Mike Voss, which was interesting to see.
That was dope. They exchanged verses for sure on their IG lives. Everybody's been just essentially connecting via social media real heavy during these times, and shouts out to Alfred Banks, shouts out again to New Orleans. But that was the last time we had done the Parlour, and up until that point the Parlour has been a space that we were in the process of creating, where people who love production, you don't necessarily need to be a producer, but you love the art of it, the craft of it, the history, and where it starts and where it ends, and the space in between that really connects listeners to listeners and creates a space in a community. So a lot of times we get into gear. We had an incredible local Philadelphia producer and DJ Matthew Law come on Parlour in the past and talked about his Roland 808 board, and he really went in depth with that. Shouts out to Little Dave. He did the same thing. Both those guys are from Ill Vibe Collective. And we just been having all kinds of conversations with incredible creators, from visual artists to DJs, and really just talking about the nuance of the craft and what tools they use. And that has been the start of it, right? We had Joey Sticks on here. So many. You should absolutely, check the pages that we'll make available to you very soon. Our YouTubes, our IGs, all those things. And just kind of recap. Up until this point, what's been happening? Like, what happened between New Orleans, by the way, was last summer. And I think Eric probably has more of a handle on what's been happening since then. But that was the last Parlour that we did, right? In New Orleans.
Yeah.
And what's been happening up until this point? Because a lot of growth has been taking place, and now we're doing something really, really special. But
for sure. I think what was really happening was, a lot was happening within the community itself. You know what I mean? So I think we were watching, stuff start to blossom for yourself, for, myself, for Drew, who we were working with at the time. Tiny Room, it it was getting larger. Like, there's a lot going on, I think. And, the Parlour, as much as it was a part of that, I think we it seemed like we stopped for a second, but we were moving, right? Like, we were moving and shaking pretty fast.
I think what people may not know, and of course they don't know, right? We haven't told them. But the Parlour was really something born out of active creatives. Like, Eric Boss is an active producer, active DJ. And so in that activity came the idea of us talking about production a lot. What inspires it, and where does that inspiration go and lead to, and how can we stand out really from making music? Because I'm a hip hop artist. I've been releasing music for a grip now. I'll continue to do that. I actually put out a song on 420, and I'll be putting out another one very soon. Yeah. So I mean, this show, this platform, kind of came out of those times we kind of got together and just had creative discussion, and really, we really care about the art. We really care about the community overall, and I think the community and the art of it and the activity of it all really just took us for a spin a little bit. And since New Orleans, we knew we wanted to match that. We knew we wanted to meet that level of care, because, we really planned that out. We really took that leap to make it big and to build on what we were doing. And that's how New Orleans came about. And I think afterwards we just kind of went back into our heads about, like, how do we want this to grow, and how do we want people to, come in contact with this and interact with us, which kind of leads us into where the Parlour is right now. And where we're trying to take this. So you want to jump in on that? And
I mean, if you're watching us, you have an idea where we are, right? We're on Stimulus TV right now. Brought to you by the good folks at 11 Ounces. They reached out to us in regards to, just getting some content on their page, something that felt original and, matches with the culture, which is like what we try to do here. The whole point off the rip when I started it was to just really like, hey, these dudes ain't getting shine, and, the beat scene's not getting the I don't want to say leadership like I'm a leader, but like not getting the organization necessarily that it was. Say that. You know what I mean?
And sometimes it's nothing wrong with just kind of like standing in it. And it doesn't need to be a permanent thing. Maybe you needed to be a leader at that moment.
Sure, yeah.
Leadership can be fluid sometimes.
Yep. Sometimes and it takes communal leadership, right? Like that's not a singular person. That's,
absolutely,
multiple people doing
leadership
things.
Needs to be fluid. At that moment, maybe you were the best person for that. and then you step out when you understand that you don't have everything that you know you need to kind of take on those issues and problems. But yeah, now we have, you know, people that kind of like agree and their values align, especially during a time like this when everyone's like looking to build and grow. You know, a lot of people are at home, I guess, doing a lot of push-ups. And I mean, waiting for the summer to arrive. But a lot of people are at home thirsty for knowledge and information about music production and beats, and really trying to build on that. And so, Stimulus TV, all the proceeds will be going to the UN, the COVID-19
solidarity.
Solidarity Fund.
Yep. Yeah. So there's multiple ways to donate, I believe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you can be donating. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, you can donate directly to us. Like, you can tip us. You know what I mean? You can subscribe to the channel, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And you can, I'm pretty sure there's links in there, so you can donate to 11 Ounces Fund, the Stimulus TV Fund, that will, then go directly to United Nations. Solidarity.
Absolutely. So let's just get a quick refresher out of the way. I know I introed you as a DJ producer, but you want to just go over everything that you do?
I mean, producer of this show, right? I'd say I'm mostly a producer. It's just the different types, right? So I'm a music producer. I produce, little things like this, little web series, content type stuff, I run an indie label, Fresh Pulp Records.
Brand new.
Recordings, excuse me. Fresh Pulp Recordings, which is, also kind of where the Parlour has been absorbed into. We started with the Parlour, grew the audience, started a label that reflected, some of those same artists we had on, like Johann Sebastian, and we had Django and Cash on. We just dropped Truck North's project.
Phenomenal too, man.
It was a good way to kind of like move everything, and now the Parlour is, it's its own thing still, but it's become this segment that we're presenting, right?
Absolutely.
Through the community we have here in Philly, which is not just about the recording company, but is about the beat scene, is about, just kind of, I think the main goal we started with was shedding light on the Philly beat scene, right? And how much we've contributed to that, how, chill hop, jazz hop, lo-fi, this stuff is neo soul beats, right? It's boom bap and neo soul a lot of the times, and it's like, if there's a city that should get the credit for neo soul, like, we're one of them. You know what I mean? Like, we're the one where people
top two, not two.
Right, exactly. So I think that, along with the hip hop history we have here, neo soul, blossoming here, is a result of the hip hop community being big here. You know what I mean?
I know, as I develop my artistry, once again, I'm a hip hop artist. I write also for whatever space that needs a writer in, and I have some history in filmmaking as well. But as I develop my artistry and my profile and just understanding what my mission is, I realize, like, I'm trying to bring the Philadelphia out of every space that I'm in. So, a lot of times we say, we want to shed light on Philly and different things like that. We could be on others. We can be in Germany. You know what I mean? But I think there's values, ideas, and things that really align that I think, for me, is like so. I think of it and I think Philly. And that's obviously because I'm a resident here, but I see those characteristics and those traits. So, my mission over the years has always become, to bring the Philadelphia out of, the world, whatever space that I'm in. And so
which we tend to do anyway.
Exactly.
It's inherent. You know what I mean? We want to talk about Philly. We want to,
So I want people to understand, like, when we say Philadelphia, we still are very much inviting the world in on this. We're still very much inviting new spaces, diverse spaces into what we're doing. Philadelphia is just kind of like, it's on the sleeve and it's always going to be there. Hence the name The Bul Bey. And many other different things that I get into. So the Parlour has grown from doing it at the pier.
Started right here. It's funny that we're back here. Started right in this room.
Went to Bach.
Tiny Room for Elephants 2018 happens at Bach.
Yes.
But then we did the couple actual episodes in Bach, that's where you first.
That's why I came in contact
became the
with
host.
it. And so that's the lineage, and then we started kind of moving around a bit and went to New Orleans,
Yep.
and now we are right back where it
Where we
started, where it
started.
started at. But we actually do have a new home on Stimulus TV. So that's where we are today, and we're really carving out the direction that we're moving into,
Yeah.
which is really newness. I know as a production, I'm a part of production efforts. I'm never touching Ableton. I should say that because I should. And
Somebody got to check. I'm sure you'll be on
yeah,
it.
somebody. You got to get the actual, people that belong in there. But when you're sitting down to craft and create the draw, I'm assuming, and you jump in on this. Like,
Sure.
I'm assuming the idea is like I want something new.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, sometimes you're doing something that's familiar, but you're still looking for a new,
You're looking
result.
for new.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's always do the new is kind of something that we're really internalizing. If you're sitting down to create and you're trying to and you're not thinking to do something new,
Yeah.
something's wrong or something's off a little bit. I don't want to say
Something's off.
wrong.
Yeah.
Creating is never really wrong. But in terms of like pushing these boundaries and really finding a home, I think a home is always best when it fits you. And I think trying to jump into other people's sound spaces or, I don't know, sound grooves, like finding your own groove always like is best for me, at least as a writer, especially as a hip hop artist.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find, my home in the space that's been opened up to me. And so creating from a new mindset, I would imagine. Is that yours? Do you have a different mindset when you create?
I think it depends. That's one thing. One way I view myself as a artist producer is like, there's not a thing I do. You know what I mean? I try to accumulate a bunch of things and let that influence, having a diverse array of things. So sometimes it's just this like, hey, you know what I mean? I need to know how to do this thing, or, so-and-so did this. That would be cool if it was implemented like that. You know what I mean? So pushing the bar, taking what you heard from someone else, trying to build upon it. You know what I mean? I feel like that falls into kind of what you're saying. I'll do that a lot, right?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Trying to mimic something else to expand what I'm doing.
Yeah. Have you? I stopped the moment that I sense I'm doing something that everyone else or someone else.
Sure.
is doing.
Yeah.
Not to say I won't come back to it, but I certainly have a moment of like, wait.
Is this what you're trying to do?
Yeah. Have you ever had the moment where you're like, damn, I just created the same thing I made the other day?
Oh yeah, plenty of times. I
Word.
think I go through phases, if anything, like that, where it's like I'm just redoing the same thing over and over again. You know what I mean?
Is that I in my opinion, I think it is okay to create like that.
Yeah, for sure.
But we're always trying to just like make sure you stay curious as the audience, and you stay energized and ready to do something new. So with all that being said, we'll move on to the next segment, which is really just music. What have you been listening to?
I've been listening to I listen to that West Side Gun project. Like, I've just been listening to things a lot, like one time through.
Yeah.
I'm working on a lot of stuff, trying to get this stuff up and going. So for me, it's been like that Knowledge Project drop. I listened to that one through. Realized I missed a Mind Design project. Listened to that one through.
It's a lot happening.
Yeah,
it's a lot happening. So, I mean, it's funny because I like to think that I've been catching up on shows while being quarantined and different things like that. But there's a lot of music. There's a lot. The world is still big, wide, and open, which I'm really happy that we get to do this, because we're cherry picking for sure. We get to pick what we want and things like that, but it's with a lot of intent behind it. I know Lonnie Rose is someone that I came across recently, and there's a song, what is it, Enough for You, that really caught my ear. So I would push everybody to check that out. But I did listen to West Side Guns project too. The best. Yo, have you been listening to Jay Versace's production?
Not like intentfully. Yeah.
Do you know who Jay Versace is?
I know the name, but not like I couldn't be like, oh yeah, this John.
Yeah. So Jay Versace, social media, god at this point. A bunch of followers, a lot of different funny vids. That's how I came into contact with him on IG, funny vids and different things like that. I had no clue he did production and did music.
Okay.
And so
Wow.
he had a SoundCloud link, and I clicked it. And this is months ago, like recent, but months ago.
Yeah.
I clicked his SoundCloud link and checked out his music, and this dude that has like a ear for samples, uh, a really strong quality melody,
Yeah.
and everything that he's doing. He like again he does vocals, not the best vocalist, but still beautiful and really airy and just strong music. And then I'm listening to West Side Gun's album.
Okay.
And you know me, I still, even in the streaming age, I'm still looking for credits, right? I'm still looking to see who produced what, engineer, who played bass, who was,
Right.
added on
Yeah.
vocals, so on and so forth. And it said Jay Versace. He made uh, either one track or a couple of tracks on that album.
Damn. That's
Um,
wild.
and yo, the aesthetics, man, really, really were beautiful. I can we play tracks on here?
At the moment,
Not at the
we're
moment.
not at the moment. We're set
Oh,
up. Actually, maybe this is a good way to segue into the music we are gonna play. Why are we? Why are
Word.
we here right now? You know what I'm saying?
Do you
Let's
wanna
talk
do
about
it?
it.
You wanna do
You
it?
let, you want, I'll let you do it. I'll
You
let
want
you
me
do
to?
it. You know what I'm saying?
All right, word. Like I said, we have a phenomenal guest. This is I want to hype him up and do all the accolades, but he really is just a hero of mine. I've watched him produce, DJ, put together events, and curate. Everyone says curate vibes, but like curate people and
Actually, he actually does that.
he does
He
all
actually
that for
does
sure.
that.
But he curates like just like a collection of people and ideas and values. You know what I mean? Like people who really really value music and the crafting of it. So yeah, without too much jazzing up, because I want you guys to hear him out, get to know him, and then get jazzed up on your own. But Jabair, the one and only,
Yo, yo,
how you feeling,
hear
man?
me? I'm feeling good, man. It's good to be here.
Yeah, man, you
Get
look
a little
healthy.
human interaction,
Yeah.
Much needed.
Man, I'm good, man. Like everyone else, and making beats pretty much every day. Um,
Yeah, what is the
just try.
COVID lockdown routine been?
Uh, I mean, it's a lot of the same. I'm not gonna lie. It's I wake up, work on some things. Maybe try to get a little home workout in. And then connect with some folks that we might be working on some projects together. And just trying to stay as connected with everyone else out there as possible. You can only do so much throughout the day.
Yeah, and I appreciate you saying that the routine hasn't really switched up too much. This has been a big life change for many different people, um, but for I want to say a little bit for me and other people, it hasn't really changed too much, right? Like the grind is still the grind, and I've been kind of keeping up with what I've been doing. And you said your routine hasn't changed too much. I see the whiteboard in the back. I'm imagining like you're a deep thinker with how you're crafting out your day and also your work.
I think the whiteboard's there. I'm old school. I like to write things down.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if I have a date or a deadline, it gets written down. It might go on my phone too, but at least I know when I come into the studio, this is what I have to get done, today or the next few days, or I need to check in on this invoice or whatever have you. Just the regular day to day stuff.
Yeah, and I want to say the last time I saw you, you hold an event here in Philadelphia called Hidden Gems. I think it's like the first Wednesday of every month. Um, and I want to say the last time I saw you, you did a real special event called Hidden Jazz. Could you talk about that a little bit?
Doing a year and some change now. I mean, we're currently on hiatus. Basically, Hidden Gems was kind of born from a similar idea as the Parlour, which is basically, getting the creatives together and having a night to showcase, whatever you're working on, whether you're a songwriter, a producer, a DJ. We've had people come in and do guest DJ sets. We usually have some type of live performance element. And when me and Dan and Expo kind of originally started this, you know, it's kind of like taking a cue from Low End Theory, which is,
Right.
the legendary party in LA. So, we did it on Wednesday, and it started out with about 7 people, and then we worked up to Hidden Jazz, which was basically a live set with a full big band jazz. It was our first time doing that, and my first time actually doing more of a live set than a DJ set with a full band. And it's worked out. It's definitely something we're going to be incorporating in the future. And just having a chance to work with some of the most talented Philly musicians and players, which Philly is known for having,
Yeah,
and getting them
yeah.
all together in a room is just something. It
Yeah.
was a special moment. It was good to see, both, folks that come to Hidden Gems, folks that go to Jazz Night, folks that are, fans of the Parlour, fans of Hidden Gems, and
Yeah.
just coming together and kind of being, about the community, which is something I think Philly has needed for a while.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so let's go over, I guess, the your lineage, your bio, real quick. Let's start putting dates to things. You know what I mean? So how long have you been? I guess one in music and two in production.
I mean, I would say I started DJing probably when I was a senior in high school. Like a friend of a friend, was a DJ just doing like little small events, and I just started tagging along, learning how to, work, one of those big ass like, CD changer jump offs,
Oh,
and then
like a
kind of
CDJ?
evolved from that. It's like an old CDJ. You ever seen like the old wedding DJs that have like the you got to keep putting the CDs in the changer?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
And then moved on from there to like saving up money and getting turntables, and starting to do more events and things like that. When I was at Temple, which is kind of its own little breeding ground for DJs. And then after that, I ended up going back to school for music. It was in Los Angeles. So I actually moved away from Philly for, I want to say, like 2 to 3 years. And I was just
Nice,
fortunate enough to
nice.
be in LA at the time when, on Wednesday night you could do Low End Theory. Thursday night, would be like the Team Supreme party. Friday night would be like
Right.
a selection party. And you had all these little scenes that made LA into one of the predominant beat scenes in the world,
Yeah.
and just kind of being influenced by all that.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. I know you mentioned Knowledge coming out with his new project.
Yeah.
And Knowledge has kind of blossomed like nobody, like like in a real special way out in Los Angeles.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um
For sure.
but I don't know if a lot of people know. I know I didn't really know for a long time. He has roots in Philadelphia.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
so
Yeah, that's where I'm originally met Knowledge. I want to say he's originally from Trenton. That's what my memory tells me.
Yeah.
He's originally from Trenton.
So
Yeah.
Philadelphia always has like it leaves a mark in every little music space, and so that I don't know, to me that's always a little cool. Obviously I'm a homer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we always try to look for the thread to tie it back to Philly.
For
You know
sure,
what I mean?
for sure. Yeah, so we want to get into some music, but
Yeah, let's
before
do
we
that.
do that, are you working on anything like to come out of this particular, like has this time that we're in inspired anything, I guess, is what I'm trying to ask you.
I mean, I think, kind of the best part about this is, I don't really feel rushed or in a hurry to like get things out. It's more of like, let me experiment with, some new ideas or some before, now that I have the time, and, kind of rethinking that process. And, I think, the thing with producing, and I think you guys touched on it a little bit earlier, of kind of getting into a routine, but knowing when to change that routine up, and maybe I'm gonna work with some hardware today, or try a different approach than what I usually do, and hopefully come up with a different result.
Yeah. Word, word. All right. Well, we don't want
Yeah,
to deprive ourselves or the viewers of music.
yeah,
So,
yeah. We need some music in this.
yeah, let's get right into it, and we'll, I guess, on the other side, kind of break things down and talk a little more about that.
Yeah.
For sure. Uh, Let me know if you guys can, if the sound is working.
Yeah, we got it. We're good.
Loud and clear.
Nice. So I think a lot of probably what everybody notices is nowadays everybody's in love with the agency. Yeah, everybody.
Yo, that shit's crazy. We ain't supposed to be involved. Yeah, it's kind of like that was breaking up. It's like blocking out. Okay. Coming to break you off. Coming to break you off. Coming to break you off. More elaborate.
Yeah.
That was dope, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. That was ill. So, what'd you use to make that? What are we like? Yeah, what's the gear?
The gear. I mean, I do everything in Ableton. I'm an Ableton guy through and through. Um, yeah, I mean, I think I started in FL Studio a long, long time ago, and then kind of transitioned to pretty much doing everything in Ableton. So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Was that a quick process? That particular track, like, obviously that was the sample of breaking you off on, was that phrenology,
yeah.
classic album from the Roots, incredible. I mean, everything they do is damn near classic. One of my personal favorite albums though. But yeah, how did that flip come to be? Like, what drew you to that?
For me, it's always been like, "Break You Off" has probably been one of my favorite root songs, that they've
Yeah, yeah.
done. It's kind of like
A
it's
lustful
such
black thought is rare as hell.
yeah, it's such a Philly record too. You got obviously the roots, and then you hit a little Music Soul Child in there, and it's almost like the embodiment of summertime neo soul, in
Absolutely.
Philly. And like the OG jamming, and Questlove has kind of like the drum and bass drum break in there, and kind of flips into something totally different. So I
Yeah.
just wanted something that was like, all right, cool. This is gonna be, this is kind of something that fits in my set nice. It's a record that I love, and it's a record that people know. And I would say it's definitely, a regional record in some respects, if you would. But you know, uh, I think when you find a sample, you just gotta run with it.
Yeah. And what's your creative process? Is it find a sample first, or you got drum patterns sitting around and you just kind of fit things in?
Right, because you'll make a lot of remixes and shit. Yeah, it's a good question. Like, are you starting with samples? Does that lead you to a remix sometimes?
I think it's just like sometimes I'll just sit down and come up with a melodic hook, and kind of take that melodic hook, and it might be running through some samples, and this might work, or this might sound good in a set together, and kind of place it that way. Other times, it just might be one of those instances where I found a sample or stumbled into a sample somehow, and just kind of start playing with some tempos, start playing with some drum patterns. How
Yeah.
can I take whatever is going on right now and take it and make it my own?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How important is tempo? I've been around DJs quite a bit, and tempo is something that, I mean, it seems to be the core subject, at least when DJing. Is it the same for producing? I guess, how important is tempo, and is it the same for DJing and producing?
I mean, for me, like I experiment with a lot of different genres. So it's kind of, once I figure out, what direction I kind of want this to head, then, the tempo is going to dictate that. I'm not going
Okay.
to, if you're trying to, make dancehall records, or if you're trying to make something that's boom bap, there's a certain particular set of rules to kind of guide that, in some aspects. Not that you can't, stray away from those, and that's kind of, what you want to do in the first place. But there are some stylistic ideas that
There's a
go with
general
tempo.
blueprint or fingerprint to a particular, like you said, house or dance hall, boom bap, and things like that for sure. Do you like the? Are we like breaking rules when when you're producing, when you're DJing? Are we trying to like really crack people over the head with like new sounds, and bend how they are experiencing these particular soundscapes?
I know for me, I am, on a regular basis. I think that's kind of been, one of the things that I've prided myself on, is just kind of like, I'm not just going to give you the hits. The hits might be in there, but I still think it's a DJ's job to introduce new music and to make that work throughout a night. I'm fortunate enough to be in a position sometimes where it's kind of like, I can do my own thing, and there's not really rules or restrictions. But at that same time, I want to make sure that, I have something that maybe nobody else has, or I'm bringing something different to the table that you're not going to get, from your regular night out, or, your regular set from a DJ.
Yeah, word, word. Well, let's get right back into to something else. You got some more music for us?
Yeah, yeah. I'm deciding what we're gonna play next.
Word. Yeah, sometimes you gotta shut me up. My bad. Yeah, let's get to some more music for sure.
All right. I was on the wrong computer. Here we go.
I'm sure you got a hard drive, bro. That's crazy. This one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jabair, that was easily my favorite that you played so far, man. That was fire.
Yeah, that was like my favorite record of last year too. So hearing it like that is definitely cool as shit.
Yeah, man. Coffee.
So speaking of tempo, you sped that up a little bit, right?
Yeah, so I think the OG, I think is at like 100.
Yeah.
And I mean, I play the original song. I mean, the original song is one of my favorite records still.
Yeah.
But then just speed it up to more of a the UKG tempo.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Word.
Yeah, and I love UK garage. A lot of the London sounds. It's kind of I think London and the UK makes some of my favorite R&B of the last 5 years in general. If you talk about George Smith and
Oh
Alabama,
man.
Yeah. Yep.
Absolutely,
they just,
absolutely. Well, we don't want to stop it or anything like that. Keep playing some music, man.
Yeah. Let's hear another one.
What we got?
We got to
Let's
end the
play
show
an
right.
original
Some
record.
vibes.
A version of a joint with the homie Derek from Philly.
Contemplated, heart being racing, motivated by all these basics. But if y'all ain't said shit, then why would I wait? Why would I? Pocket notifications, my life is changing, my bank account aching. But if y'all ain't said shit, then why would I wait?
Yeah, right. Yes. Hey man, keep going. That joint was a bop.
The house.
Word. Was that on Ableton too?
Yeah, I mean everything's in Ableton. You know, the last year I started using more hardware. So I got a Moog Sub 37 now, which I've been practicing playing a lot more bass lines in. Doing a lot more things with leads. Having some hardware synths in the building. Which is something I've always wanted to mess around with, and it's kind of fun getting out of the computer in general.
I was just going to say, do you
Yeah.
kind of prefer being in that space or, instrumentation in the whole real world reality of music?
Uh, I think the thing with hardware is, and I'll be the first to tell you, I'm not a great player. I'm not a great piano player. I'm not a great, I'm not great at playing everything in. But shout out to so I can go in there and fix it later.
Yeah, of course, you need those. So we're pushing up on time, and I want to hear some more
Yeah.
music, man.
Yeah, we got one more. Yeah. Let's do it.
One more.
Yeah, before you rock that out, just want to thank you, man. This has been awesome. It's a good way to kind of get it back up and going, even though we can't all be together. But yeah, really much appreciated. Again, for people that don't know, if you're in Philly and you're listening, go check out Hidden Gems when it gets back up and running. Great space for producers, creatives, and shit, which makes it makes sense to have you on for us to get it back up and running, because you've been supporting the same community that we have. You know what I mean? So
yeah, for sure.
much appreciated, man.
All right, last one. Awesome. Shout out to the homie Dave Jr. that helped me finish this. He's out of the Netherlands, but the internet homies.
And when we done this, we gonna move over to YouTube for the Parlour overtime. So find us on YouTube or hit up freshpope.us, and the live stream will be up there.
Anything when you do, I can't I'm not people that know that I don't want that. I don't want that. I want enjoy. I want that. I want my people. I want feel that. I still want to know. You are good. I do be. I do not. What's the you are good. Oh, you can get the gallery. I do good. I know.
Sounds good.
Actually, just say.
Make sure you hit the chat. We'll be continuing the show over there on YouTube. The link is in the chat. Jabair, yo, thank you one more time, man. Like, honestly, if we had a crowd, I would make them make all the noise in the world. But, yo, thank you, bro. Thank you.
Hate it.
Yeah, man. And once again, this is Stimulus TV. Again, we're going to continue all this on our YouTube channel live. more music. I might even do a little performance on the spot. Who knows?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's get into it.
But yeah, thank you again, Jabair, for coming in. This
So
is
yeah.
in the Parlour, the Lush Lounge for the engineering of Future Sounds.
Yeah,
Shouts out
talk to 'em about it.
to everybody behind the scenes who really made this look and feel the way it needed to. We'll be continuing to kind of like step in this path and drive curiosity and drive newness and drive innovation. Thank you to everyone looking, watching, and being here with us. Eric, thank you, bro.
Yeah, thank y'all. We're gonna switch over now. Yeah.